like to start this afternoon by recognizing what a tragic incident we had overnight. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of a loved one involved in this incident. Shortly after 2 a.m. this morning, Monday, April 6th, a Portland Police Patrol officer was driving through downtown Portland and observed a vehicle driving recklessly. There was driving the wrong way down one-way streets, driving through red lights. The officer turned on the overhead lights in an attempt to make a traffic stop on the vehicle, but the vehicle fled from the officer. And over the course of just a very brief 15 seconds, 3-block radius, the vehicle accelerated eastbound on Southwest Harvey Milk and crossed NATO Parkway, crossed Waterfront Park here behind me, and then plunged into the Willamette River. The officer arrived shortly thereafter and got up to the seawall, looked down into the river, and observed one survivor swimming. There was no any other indication other than a broken fence that the vehicle had gone in or where the vehicle was, but the officer believed it had gone in the water. The person was swimming and treading water in the river. The officer was able to immediately call for assistance from the Coast Guard and the Portland Fire Bureau to respond. The officer then calmly assisted the person over to the seawall, had them grab onto a flotation piece of equipment that's already in the river, and just basically talked to this person until the fire crews could arrive and retrieve him from the water. I believe the person suffered minor injuries, was taken to an area hospital for treatment. We have interviewed that person to obtain a little bit more understanding, a better understanding of what happened this morning. And at this time, we're not releasing any of the names of the people involved until next of kin and family can be appropriately notified. While speaking to the young man in the river, the officer learned that there was potentially up to 3 additional people in the car. And as I said before, the officer immediately notified the Portland Fire Bureau and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office to come and assist us with rescuing or retrieving the people that were in the water. Happy to answer any questions.
Did we say anything about the survivor? Was he the driver?
It's unclear at this time. The investigation is ongoing. Our traffic unit is involved, and they'll make every effort to identify who was seated where in the vehicle at this time.
Have any other bodies been retrieved?
Yes, at this point, we believe 2 of the additional occupants of the vehicle have been retrieved from the vehicle.
Is there a third person in the...
We believe, based on the statements of the young man that was rescued, that there were 3 people in the vehicle.
Why is that so confusing? Is there potential that maybe someone jumped out before it got into the water? Or can you explain that a little bit?
So it's an ongoing investigation. It's not normal for a car to go off the seawall. Very rare. I can't remember that ever happening in my almost 30 years of being a Portland police officer. And you can imagine a very violent, high-speed incident. And so it's unclear exactly where that third person is. But we believe there was a third person, and the Sheriff's Office will continue to search for that person. And I do have a member of the Sheriff's Office here to address that.
Yeah, Jason, you want to kind of talk about the efforts of your office in this?
Sure. So the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office was notified shortly after the event by Central Precinct. At that point, we began calling members of the dive team who were certified to come and do recoveries and rescues in conjunction with River Patrol Unit. I talked with the lead diver last night, and given this was about 2:45 in the morning and enough time had gone by, and the circumstances involved with diving and doing a recovery on the Willamette, as dangerous as they can be, the recommendation was this search was going to be a during daylight operation for a number of reasons. So the dive team and the River Patrol unit got together this morning and came out here. The divers came off of the boats. We have multiple dive teams in the water. Confirmed that there were 2 deceased occupants of the vehicle recovered today, with a third potential still missing.
It looks like they wrapped up for the day.
Yes.
There, is that true?
Yeah, so the search is done for today. Just to keep in mind, the Willamette and what the divers were experiencing is 0 visibility in 35 feet of water with a high river flow, the current. So we have to take that into account and how physically can we search. A search like this is basically on your hands and knees over the size of a football field, which is what they've done today. So moving forward, the search plan for any missing occupants is going to be in conjunction with the review unit. Come out with a sonar and try and identify any potential targets or likely areas that we can dive. As you can all see, it's a nice calm day today, but that could change at a moment's notice. There's a lot of debris in the river. The water's moving fast. It's cold. We have to keep that in mind. And at this point, when we commence search operations, we have to keep the diver safety as paramount in this.
Just to confirm, the divers were able to locate the car.
Correct. Yes.
What point is leaving the car in the water?
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, what point does the car itself get brought back up?
That's not a question I can answer at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with the car. That decision will be made at a later date. Like Chief Hughes said, the investigation is still ongoing, and there's a lot of things that do need to get figured out with that.
What kind of car was it? What kind of car?
I don't know.
Family has told me that their loved one was 19 and another one told me that their loved one was 23.
So the sheriff's office role in this is to assist Portland Police, specifically the traffic investigation unit. We're going to be the lead in this, and any information on specifics like identities or involvement that's going to come from that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. The information we have at this time is we believe the occupants were between the ages of 17 and 20. No, it's unclear, and the investigation is ongoing. Certainly not normal for a vehicle to speed away from a traffic stop. We do, 10 to 20 a day, traffic stops a day with people that pull over. So we don't know the details about why the driver did not stop in this case.
Is there a driver who was the driver? The driver was the driver. Is he facing any charges aside from
Yeah, so the investigation is still ongoing, and it's too early at this point to conclude whether or not that's the case.
Is there going to be any kind of procedures to prevent something like this from happening?
Yeah, so we have no indication that there was a pursuit involved here. Simply the officer turned on the lights, and the information we had from the officers, when the officer did that, the car sped away from the officer.
Is the person in the hospital cooperating with this?
Yes, the person was cooperating with us.
Are you able to disclose just any more information about them, whether it's the offender or their age specifically?
No, not at this time. I just said we believe between the ages of 17 to 20, and out of respect for the families, I'd rather give them an opportunity to process this. Like I said before, it's an incredibly tragic occurrence, something that nobody wants to wake up to and find out happening. And certainly there are some calls made to loved ones who were down here present when this happened, or shortly after, and our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the family and friends.
Last question.
Did the officers see the car crashing falling into the Willamette, or how did we find out that this was happening other than just a broken gate?
So the officer did take note of some sparks that were in the area and drew his attention towards the park, and was able to then come down to the park and find the piece of railing missing.
Have you got any advice for people? They're going to be like, well, what are you meant to do when your car goes into water? Do you have any advice for people? Because they're going to be thinking about that.
Yeah, I'd rip maybe my sheriff.
Any advice for people who are worried about their car going into water? What do you do in that situation?
I think a lot of it depends on where you're at. A river is completely different, but I guess the paramount thing is don't panic, think clearly. As hard as and difficult as that may be, given the circumstances, yeah.
Can you ID yourself as well?
Oh, Lieutenant Jason Pierce, PEARCE, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office.
All right, thank you.